What's going on, everybody? I am back to break down this 3-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings and FanDuel. Excited to get into the breakdown. As always, giving you guys the top place to get in that green cash line tonight. Before we do, quick reminder, guys, if you do enjoy this content, if you feel like I provide you with any value, if you feel like my content's entertaining, all of the above, if you could take a second, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, that would be greatly appreciated. Really does help me out a lot, guys, to show your support, and the more that you support, the more time that I can put towards this. I put a lot of time towards this as is, but I do have a lot of other things going on as far as my work life, and the more that this can support itself, the more that I can apply to it. So if you do enjoy, that's kind of your way of supporting, and being able to do this more is the goal, obviously helping you guys out. And if you didn't know, the new sponsor of the channel is SuperDraft. SuperDraft is launching all over the place now with a new platform. It's called the SuperDraft Pro platform, where you can now get paid to play for free, essentially. It's a different type of thing. If you use my link down below in the description, you can get access to these free contests. Now, this is only on a referral basis, so the only way you can gain this is going through my link. But when you do, you will see this page where it says Access Free Contest. When you do, you can hop into one of these SuperDraft Pro memberships. They're offering these super passes at different rates. They have the free and fun pass, the basic pass, the premium pass, and the elite pass for all different level types of players. And based upon the package that you choose, you will get different benefits. All sorts of fun stuff. Obviously, the more expensive package you get, the more that you get. I myself am an elite member. The elite member is $100 a month. So for instance, I get 3 of these free games per night over here on SuperDraft. You can see I get the elite pass, I get the premium pass, and the basic pass game. $500 in prizes tonight. For the elite, $250 in prizes for the premium, and $100 in prizes for the basic. Really cool concept they have going on. Rather than paying on a per night basis, you pay for that subscription, then you get these free games every time out, and you can win more money than your subscription. Obviously, that's the goal here. So depending upon how serious you are, if you're an elite player, you get all these free contests every time, and you're pretty solid, well-known, or solidified DFS player, and you know what you're doing. It's going to be well worth it. You're going to win your money back very easily. If you're kind of beginning, just trying to try out the SuperDraft platform, you can of course, go ahead with the free and fun pass. But another thing that's really cool that they have going on here is you do have the ability to kind of start your own home-based business. So when you do click on this link, you'll see that you've been referred by me. You click submit, and you can become a player, which is exactly what we just talked about. You can play those free games, or a coach. A coach is essentially where you pay a $40 annual fee to become a coach, and you will be able to get your own link, similar to what I'm doing right now. You can refer others, and you can make commissions off it. So as you see on my videos, it says paid advertising on all my sponsorships. I've made this sponsor agreement with SuperDraft Pro. Really excited about the sponsor, but you yourself can get in the game as well. Become a coach, hit that continuous coach, sign up today, and you yourself will be able to refer people. A lot of YouTubers make money, and they make a living by referring people to these different daily fantasy platforms, but now SuperDraft changing the game and making it so that you yourself can do it, the everyday player. So if you're interested in playing those free-to-play games, hop in, use that link down below in the description. And if not, and you just want to, if you just want to play, that's fine. If you want to become a coach and make this your own home business, you can do that now. You got to do is go through that link, sign up, and you'll be able to refer people. You'll get your own link, all that fun stuff. If you have any questions or anything like that, I am more than happy to help you out. You can leave that down below in the comments. And overall, guys, if you're enjoying this content, leave a comment down below of your favorite plays overall. I really want to get the engagement up on this channel. Any comment that you leave, any like, all that stuff really does help me, guys. So let's go ahead and get into this slate today. As always, we're going to do a little bit of a game-by-game breakdown. 3-game slate, not the largest. We have a 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time lock tonight, so let's talk about it. Phoenix taking on Dallas is the first game tonight. As far as the total in this game comes in with a 213 over-under. 3-point spread in favor of the Phoenix Suns, so expected to stay close. Not the fastest-paced game in the world, however, with that being said, still going to be expected to stay close, and on a slate where the totals consist of a 216.5, 213, and a 210.5, this isn't exactly the worst game in the world, so not exactly going to be the fastest-paced games tonight. And when looking at the injury news, we can see that DeAndre Ayton has been listed as out. So with that being said, of course, JaVale McGee, Jalen Smith, Bismack Biyombo are going to get the bump up here. All pretty good fantasy point producers. All could be valid plays for your lineups tonight. As far as the guys that I'm going to be prioritizing in this game, Jay Crowder really sticks out to me at a 4.4 price tag over here on DraftKings. He's continuing to play a lot of minutes, producing at a pretty decent rate here on the season, pulling up his game logs. He's putting up 0.76 DK points per minute. Not the greatest, but definitely not the worst when it comes to Jay Crowder, and he has seen his price tag decrease. He's played 23 and 26 minutes the last 2 times out. Both those games kind of got away a little bit, though. And with the return of a Cameron Johnson, it's not quite as much of a hammer spot as it was when Cameron Johnson was out because, of course, that was adding on to Jay Crowder's minutes. But still, Jay Crowder is grading out as a pretty great play for me here. And also, Mikal Bridges and Chris Paul. I mean, all these guys overall, with there being no DeAndre Ayton, are going to get a bump up in usage in this starting unit. For that reason, they're all going to be looking a little bit better in the projections, and as they should. Mikal Bridges at 4.8. Chris Paul at 7.5 is way too cheap. Chris Paul would be my favorite play on this slate on the Phoenix side as far as an upside at his price tag. I mean, we've seen this guy put up 45 DraftKings points the last time out. He has 50-plus fantasy point upside. And if you're telling me that a guy priced in the mid-7K range has 50 fantasy point upside, I'm going to be very happy to play him. You know, he should be in the 8K range or the 9K range, and he is not. So Chris Paul, really going to be another guy that I'm going to be looking to prioritize in this one. We do have some other guys that are grading out some pretty good punt plays or mid-range plays on the Dallas side. We have Tim Hardaway Jr. at 4.9 and Dorian Finney-Smith at 4.6. Tim Hardaway Jr., as we all know, or if you don't know, is a very streaky shooter. He's really reliant on his shot, so just keep that in mind. He can be a little bit versatile in his fantasy scoring, but at this price tag, once again, he does have a lot of upside for it. He's seen some mediocre games the last few times, about 25, 20, 23, 19. Hasn't really got hot from the field and gone off or anything like that. And then you have a guy in Dorian Finney-Smith at 4.6 who, once again, is a little bit on the opposite spectrum. He's a little bit of a risky play, not because of his streakiness or anything, but he's just a solid guy that plays a lot of minutes and doesn't exactly produce at the highest rate. So whereas Tim Hardaway Jr. is going out there and putting up, on average, 0.86 DK points per minute, Dorian Finney-Smith only putting up 0.72. However, his minutes are really locked in this rotation. He plays 34, 35 minutes practically every night, and if he's able to just kind of rack up some peripheral stats, get some blocks and steals, and get a few buckets, he can very quickly end up around, 40 DraftKings points like he did that last game out on the 17th at only a 4.6 price tag. That's going to be a guy that I have somewhat interest in my tournament lineup. So those are the guys that you're really going to be looking to right off the bat. The other thing is the centers for the Phoenix. We saw them split minutes. JaVale McGee at 4K is a guy that's consistently getting ownership every single time that he takes the floor as a starter. Whenever there is indeed no DeAndre Hunter. The problem is his minutes have been really limited. He puts up 1.35 DK points per minute. That's a phenomenal rate as far as production, but we only saw him play 23 minutes last time out, and I think people are starting, people think that he's going to go out there and play 30 minutes or whatever when he starts. He's not going to. Can he still get you there at this limited, minute sample size? Absolutely. I mean, JaVale McGee, a guy that puts up 1.35 DK points per minute, he can get you there, but it's not quite as much of a lock as some people think. And for that reason, he's a decent play for me overall, but not grading out as a fantastic play. And you have these other center guys cutting into his minutes. You have a Jalen Smith, you have a Bismack Biyombo, 4K and 4.1. They're all kind of splitting. We saw Bismack Biyombo play 25 minutes last time. He ended up playing more than JaVale McGee. He put up 39 DraftKings points. And that seems to be a repeating pattern. So maybe if you want to go with him over JaVale McGee. Jalen Smith last time out only about 2 minutes though. So that is interesting. It'd be interesting to see if he's less involved in this rotation, if that was just a matchup play. Whether or not that's the case, we really can't tell. We can only just go based off the game's rotations. But for the time being, it looks like it's going to be a Bismack Biyombo, JaVale McGee matchup for the most part. You also got to factor in the opposing team and their overall, makeup. So you have Kristaps Porzingis. He's more of a big, so that's going to be applying, either a JaVale McGee or a Bismack Biyombo on him most likely. But he's also a little bit versatile. He can go out around the wing. Maybe they throw Jalen Smith on him. That's going to be a major height disadvantage for sure. Kristaps is a very tall, very good shooter, so that's interesting. But running it back on the other side, first thing I would say is Devin Booker, 8.3 is obviously going to be a viable play as well on the Phoenix before we get to Dallas. Pay-up options, obviously he has the upside. He's just priced more appropriately than Chris Paul, but we saw last time he has, 70 fantasy point upside because he can get buckets, and when he does, we saw him put up almost 50 real-life points last time. Of course, he can do that again. This game isn't going to be nearly as fast-paced as that San Antonio Spurs game, though, so I wouldn't bank on it. And for that reason, Devin Booker's a great play from a tournament aspect, but I would still prefer Chris Paul at the discount. On the other side, we have Luka Doncic at 10.4, Kristaps Porzingis at 7.6. Kristaps working his way back, building up those minutes. We've seen him go from 28 minutes twice in a row to 33, and I think he should see more minutes once again at a 7.6 price tag. That is a very friendly price tag for a guy that produces at a very high rate. Looking at Kristaps Porzingis' fantasy point per minute production on the season, we can see on my screen here that he's putting up 1.3 DK points per minute. So that is really solid stuff. It's really just a matter of the minutes. The minutes are starting to climb back up. 7.6, that's really, really cheap for a guy that I would expect to play in the mid to upper 30s now, working his way back, getting his conditioning, getting his feet under him. Seems like an absolute steal. So Kristaps and Chris Paul, both in this game, really priced very friendly. And then Luka Doncic as a pay-up option at 10-4. Of course, always going to be viable, putting up 67, 72 DraftKings points the last 3 times out. This guy always has that type of upside, whereas the Devin Booker, we talk about him being a little bit streaky and all that stuff. Luka's always going to have the usage and everything to get you there. He's going to have triple-double upside every single night. And for that reason, he should be your top pay-up option on this slate, in my opinion. I'll take him over a Stephen Curry at a 10-5 price tag any day of the week. So Luka would be my preferred pay-up option for the expensive guys on this slate. New Orleans Pelicans taking on the New York Knicks. Next game on the slate, we had Julius Randle absolutely kill it last time out as my lock of the night on that 2-game slate. Loved him. Went out there, put up 56 DraftKings points. So hopefully you got a lot of exposure to Julius Randle as my lock of the night. Looking to keep that going once again tonight, as always. And he gets a fantastic matchup here with a bump up, taking on a New Orleans Pelicans squad that is absolutely terrible defensively all season long. Looking at my defensive half-court and putbacks tool over here in my Patreon content, I can see that the New Orleans Pelicans are 24th overall in points per possession rank, 29th in half-court points per play rank allowed. So not worried about them whatsoever as far as slowing down Julius Randle. Once again, a spot that you could be looking and going back to him here at a 9-1 price tag. Hasn't seen his price tag go up. As a matter of fact, it came down from 9-2. So I'm certainly willing to go there. And you can add in that it's a little bit of a revenge narrative. Julius Randle, the former Pelican. So all of that fun stuff you can be factoring in here. Playing some Julius Randle. Like him, we saw the return of Kemba Walker last time out. He said he was going to be limited, or the coaching staff said he was going to be limited. And 30 minutes isn't too limited, so at a 6-1 price tag, he's someone that I will certainly be going right back to. If he played 30 minutes last time out, he should be able to go right back up. Tom Thibodeau, famous for running his starters into the ground, so all these starters should be getting plenty of minutes. Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, all making sense to me. The second unit becomes far less of a priority for me when it comes to the New York Knicks. That's just not how they roll. They love to get their starters maximum minutes, so I'll be locking in on these starters. RJ Barrett at 7-2. Going to be a great secondary option to Julius Randle. We talked about Kemba Walker. Evan Fournier at 5-5 now consistently. Well, I shouldn't say consistently with one game, but as long as he stays in the starting lineup, this is the type of rotation they're running. He saw 37 minutes, 45 DraftKings points. Once again, fantastic matchup at only a 5-5 price tag. He's going to grade out as a really good play for me. And I think overall, I'm going to want to be getting a lot of exposure to this New York Knicks starting lineup tonight because, like I said, they're going to get a lot of minutes. They all produce at high rates. It seems as if they're finally locking in these starters after kind of messing around with the rotations. So I'm going to capitalize and take advantage. And the same can be said for Mitchell Robinson. He was a guy that's, well, I say that. Yeah, after seeing limited minutes, he was up to 32, 31. Now he's down to 26, 20. So he might be the one starter that we're actually kind of avoiding. Because they seem to... Tibbs seems to really like getting himself some Taj Gibson minutes. So Taj Gibson continues to be cutting into his minutes. I guess, if anything, you could pivot to a Taj Gibson at only 3-3. But for me, it's either playing Mitchell Robinson and hoping he gets hot and they keep him in there for the game and he's having a good game, or I'm just not going there. That would kind of be my approach here. There's still no Nerlens Noel to be cutting into his minutes, so I'm willing to take a risk on Mitchell Robinson. I just think he's the riskiest starter of the group. As far as guys at the bench, Alec Burks, Emmanuel Quickley, sure, if you want to go there. For me, not going to be too big of a priority, honestly. Emmanuel Quickley is priced very friendly at 4K, but last time out, just 9 minutes. I mean, I just don't trust. If they're not in the starting lineup with Tom Thibodeau's rotation, I'm not going there. So that's going to be my approach in this one. Running it back on the New Orleans Pelicans side, it's kind of the same thing for the most part, to be honest. The starters, you want to go to Brandon Ingram, Jonas Valanciunas, Josh Hart, and Devontae Graham mainly. Devontae Graham is listed as questionable. That is a very big piece of news. If he's indeed out, we could see some Jose Alvarado, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and Thomas Satoransky minutes. So that is a big news. Nickeil Alexander-Walker continues to be grading out as a great, fantastic play in projection models because he produces at a really high rate. Looking at the season, putting up 0.88 DK points per minute. I've got him projected for, in the lower 20 minutes, and that's great. That was a great play, but his upside just has not been there. So if Devontae Graham's out, we could certainly take a much harder look to him, but they seem to be leaning towards going with an Alvarado if that's the case, so he might be the one that we're looking to go to at only a minimum salary. It could be a very interesting play. As far as his overall fantasy point production on the season, pulling up the New Orleans Pelicans squad here. Let's see, Alvarado putting up on the season 0.95 DK points per minute. So very, very good fantasy point producer. Minimum salary. If Devontae Graham's out, I think he's going to become a lock. Thomas Satoransky at 6.4 DK points per minute. Probably not as much of a priority for me, but he's still minimum salary, so that could certainly be intriguing. And I would like him a lot more over there on FanDuel. where you get the 3 points for the blocks and steals. Thomas Satoransky is usually famous for getting quite a bit of steals. So that would be my approach in this one, depending upon the injury news. Regardless, really going to like Josh Hart, 6'3". He continues to just not be priced appropriately. He plays a ton of minutes. He has a ton of peripheral stats. He's one of the best rebounding wings in the league. He's going to get you a lot of rebounds. He can pretty much get you a double-double on any night, and then he's going to rack up assists as well, block steals, all that fun stuff. So Josh Hart, just really easy to be playing at that price tag. They're making it too easy on you. Jonas Valanciunas and Brandon Ingram, both top pay-up options on this team. Both priced very reasonably for top pay-up options. They dominate the usage. Both priced in the upper 7K, low 8K range, literally at 8K. Brandon Ingram. I'm willing to jump all in on those price tags for the upside that these guys possess. They can both easily go out there and put up 50 plus. These price tags are not priced like that. They were both priced up to like 9K plus at one point in the season. DK making it a lot easier on us to be playing them now. Rather than playing Jonas Valanciunas at a 9.7, you're playing him at a 7.7. I mean, that's very good stuff, so I will jump all in on that. Indiana taking on the Golden State Warriors. This game right now comes in with a 216.5 over-under, 11.5 point spread in favor of the Golden State Warriors. So, Golden State expected to win this one very easily. Domantas Sabonis does not have a questionable tag on his name, but I did see a report last night that his ankle, he had an ankle sprain, and it was quote-unquote probably going to be significant. So, I don't know what that means, but my take is he's not going to play tonight. The fact that he doesn't have a questionable tag on him, I do not know why, but I don't think he's going to be in. And if he's out, the question is who's going to start. We certainly have to keep our eyes on that starting lineup. We could see a Goga Patatsi step into the starting lineup. If that's the case, he's a really good fantasy point producer, and he could be someone that's a fantastic value on the slate tonight at only a 3.7 price tag. Last time we saw him get a decent amount of run, he played 25 minutes, and he put up 34 DraftKings points. So that's just, goes to show you the type of upside that this guy possesses. So I'm really going to have a lot of interest in him if indeed there is no Domantas Sabonis in this one. There continues to be no Miles Turner as well. So, I mean, that's going to be some very big pieces of news. Not only is that going to bump up Goga, obviously, make him one of the best value plays on the slate, but also we're going to be getting a big bump up in usage too. Guys like a Malcolm Brogdon, a Karis LeVert, a Torrey Craig, and guys at the bench, a Chris Duarte. Chris Duarte grading out as a pretty phenomenal play for me right now in my projections. And if indeed Domantas Sabonis is out, he's going to grade out as an even better play. We've seen him play 34 and 32 minutes the last two times out, 47 and 26 DraftKings points. Pretty good fantasy point producer on the season, so putting up 0.82 DK points per minute. I'm going to be all in on him if indeed there's no Sabonis. He's going to grade out as a great play. We could possibly even see him slide into the starting rotation. And then I'm really going to like Malcolm Brogdon at 7.4. And I'm really going to like paying up for a Karis LeVert if you do think this game stays close. Those three guys are going to get a lot of usage. Only 7.9 for Karis LeVert. That's an absolute steal for the usage he's going to be taking on. Only 7.4 for Malcolm Brogdon. That's an absolute steal for the usage he'll be taking on. Somewhat limited last time out, only playing 26 minutes, so just keep that in mind. But I tend to think that that'll climb up, and at a 7.4 price tag, if he's able to get us to around 30 minutes, there's a high likelihood he can get you there with his fantasy point production. So that's the biggest piece of news for me in this game, the Indiana side. I think we're going to be wanting to load up on these guys. The only downside is the Golden State Warriors are the best defense in the league. Looking at my defensive half-court and putbacks tool over here on Patreon, I can see that the Golden State Warriors are number 1 in points per possession rank. Number 6 in offensive rebounding percentage rank allowed, number 2 in half-court percentage of plays rank, number 3 in putback. So they just dominate on the defensive glass. They dominate defensively overall, and for that reason, a little bit scary to be going there. On the Golden State Warriors side, not too intrigued here. I mean, they're fully healthy compared to some of these other teams we've talked about. Golden State really doesn't look that great. You have Jordan Poole at 5.4. If this game turns into a blowout, maybe he's an interesting option at a 5.4 price tag, consistently playing, around 20 30 minutes a game. He has the upside to get you there, so that could be interesting. Stephen Curry at 10.5 is the obvious pay-up option if this game does stay close. If you're stacking up on a bunch of the guys on the other side, maybe it does make sense to run it back with a Stephen Curry. He'd be my favorite option on the Golden State Warriors side. He's going to dominate all the usage, but he's just affecting the other players, and he's priced up enough to where if he doesn't get there, you're not going to be happy with any of the Golden State Warriors guys, so that's kind of my approach here. The only other thing I would say, Jonathan Kuminga at 4.3. We've seen him really start to take on a bigger role with this Golden State Warriors team. Still not priced up too much. He's put up 26, 42, 28, 29 DraftKings points. If you do want to go to a Kuminga who's now in the starting lineup, I don't blame you. So that would be it. Klay Thompson continuing to be limited. Andrew Wiggins continuing to be impacted by Klay Thompson being out there on the court at all. So, yeah. Klay Thompson finally, last time out, though, against Detroit, I said it on the live stream. I said if there was ever a time that you're going to play Klay Thompson, I've been saying not to play him because it's a limited slate, or a limited, he's on a minutes limit, but it was a 2-game slate. I said if there's ever a time, if he's going to get hot and he's going to have low ownership, this could be it. He went out there and put up 35 DraftKings points, so it was a great time to play him. Once again, we do have a small slate, so 3-gamer. If you want to go to Klay Thompson, now would be the time. If this is a larger slate, I'd probably say don't get too cute with it. But, I mean, he does have the shooting ability, obviously, to be putting up a lot of fantasy points in a very quick amount of time. Only 22 minutes, 35 DraftKings points. So, if you want to go there, wouldn't call you crazy. But just keep in mind, he's only going to play around 20 minutes, so he's really got to be efficient in those 20 minutes. Andrew Wiggins at 6'6", going to be impacted by those minutes. His upside is being somewhat capped, and his price tag's more appropriate. So you get the point. That's kind of where my head's at in this one. That's my overall breakdown on DraftKings, guys. As always, FanDuel, it's going to be pretty similar, but the pricing discrepancies are a thing, so I want to make sure that I'm pointing those out if there's any big pricing discrepancies that really stand out to me over here. Looking at my player pool, Jonas Valanciunas at 7'3", really going to grade out as a great play over here. We talked about him on DraftKings. Even cheaper over here on FanDuel, so at 7'3", really grading out as a great value play for me on this slate tonight. Going to be having a ton of exposure to him. Malcolm Brogdon, we talked about him having a friendly price tag on FanDuel. It's even, on DraftKings. It's even better over here on FanDuel. It's only 6'6". Once again, if he plays around 30 minutes, I'm sure you're going to be very happy with what he can put up at that price tag. So he is certainly a great play. Chris Paul, underpriced on both websites. He's 7'8" over here. Not quite as friendly as that 7'5" price tag on DraftKings, but certainly still very, very friendly price tag. So willing to go there for sure. Josh Hart, we talked about at a 6'5" price tag over here on FanDuel. He's very cheap on both websites. Just lock him in, playing a ton of minutes. Good for those peripheral stats. He'll get you rebounds. He'll score. He'll do it all. This is just too cheap of a price tag for him right now, so I'll take advantage of that. Chris Duarte, we talked about at 5'1", especially if there is no Domantas Sabonis. Price very friendly on both websites. Does grade out as a great play for me tonight. With there being no Miles Turner, he's taken a big step up. You're going to take Domantas Sabonis out of the equation. Obviously, we talked about Goga stepping into a big role, but I think Duarte has an even bigger role as well. So that's certainly worth noting. Luka Doncic is going to be my top pay-up option. Once again, we talked about him. He's at 10.9 over here. You can certainly get up to him. And then a lot of these Knicks starters are grading out as good plays for me. We talked about the Knicks really starting to solidify their rotation. They're taking on a New Orleans Pelicans team that's really bad. And their starters are priced pretty reasonably over here as well. So we talked about Kemba Walker at 5'5". Certainly would love that price tag for him. RJ Barrett at 6'5", underpriced on FanDuel. 5'6" for Evan Fournier, underpriced on FanDuel. Julius Randle at 8'7", underpriced on FanDuel. Mitchell Robinson at 4'9", underpriced on FanDuel, although he's really risky on FanDuel because you only get to play one center. But he's notorious for getting a ton of blocks. You get that 3 points for every block on FanDuel. I'm willing to go there. So, yeah, overall, a lot of the same we went over, but those are some of the pricing discrepancies. A lot of the guys I want to getting exposure to. And yeah, guys, that is my overall breakdown of this 3-game slate. Before I let you guys go, got to give you my lock of the night, of course. But before I do, guys, quick reminder to go ahead and check out Super Draft Pro. It's a really fun format. I've been having a lot of fun. You can check it out using that link down below in the description. When you do use my link, you'll be sent over to my landing page that will allow you to access these free contests. Check it out, link below in the description. You just access that free contest. You can hop in any one of these packages you'd like, play for free. It's a subscription-based package. You get all those free games every single night. Like I talked about, tonight I'm going to have the PGA kicking off. Well, it's actually today. It's 11:40 a.m. It's going to kick off. I have access to all 3 of these because I'm an elite member. If you become a premium or basic pass member, you can get access to those packages as well. And if you'd like to make this your own home-based business, you can become a coach. $40 annual fee. You will get your own link, similar to the link I'm sharing with you. You'll get your very own link, and you'll be able to refer people yourself and make commissions. So it has a lot to offer for everyone. People that are looking to start up a home-based business, people that are just looking to have fun and play fantasy sports. And the great thing about it is you can do both at the same time. That's what I'm doing. I'm having fun. I'm just pumped to be partnering with Super Draft is what it comes down to. And I would love for you guys to hop on that experience with me. And with all that being said, before I let you guys go, got to give you my lock of the night. Let's get into it. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be Josh Hart taking on this New York Knicks squad. We talked about it, but this guy is playing massive minutes, and the prices have just not adjusted on the websites, putting up great per minute points, volume, and a ton of minutes. 6'3" on DraftKings, 0.95 DraftKings points per minute as far as FanDuel is concerned, 0.92 FanDuel points per minute, 6'5" over there. Too cheap for a guy that'll rack up rebounds, steals, blocks. He'll get buckets. He does it all, and he's out there on the floor for a ton of minutes to do so. Get him in your lineups because he is my lock of the night. So there we go, guys. Get him in your lineup. That is Josh Hart, lock of the night. That is all for me in this one. If you do enjoy the content, if you could please take a second to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I go live. You don't miss future content that I upload. I'll be going live tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time lock, so I'll be going live a little bit later than normal. We'll be kicking that off at 6 p.m. Eastern. Looking forward to seeing you all then. Hopefully, if you enjoyed, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. I wish you guys all the best of luck, and we will see you in the next one.